Welcome back to our podcast, guys. It's What's Mommy's Name, and we're back with episode 7. Today's topic of discussion is going to be about names, naming people, our names, and maybe names that we like. So yeah, I'm excited to get started because I feel like names are a really important part of like life and culture, and there's so many different ways that you can pick a person's name, and the most normal names can have like such a huge meaning to a specific person, and other people might be like, I hate that name. So I think that names are just really interesting, and they can really almost become like who you are in a way. So
yeah, I might be biased, but I personally think I have a very pronounced gift for naming people.
Really?
Yeah, if I could have a job doing that, I feel like I'd be really good at it.
Well, you could.
Oh, okay.
I'm serious. People look for that kind of stuff on the internet all the time. But all right, so let's start with I feel like if we start with our kids, that would be more interesting because we obviously had a hand in naming them. And so we could start with like firstborns. Ayla is the oldest, so let's start with her. And how did you come about naming her? What was the journey?
The journey was quite challenging at first because I really wanted a boy first. I was like prepared for a boy, and finding out I wasn't having a boy, then I needed to come up with a girl name, and that's really hard because there's a lot of pretty names. It's very hard to choose.
Girl names are endless.
Yeah, you have to like stick to the one. So that was, I had to narrow it down. I had a whole list. I have to get to one name, so I had to keep narrowing it, and I just couldn't. I don't know. There's like 10 names that I liked all equally and couldn't choose on my own. And my partner at the time didn't mind which one was chosen. So I wrote all of the names down and like on little separate pieces of paper and put them in a box. And that was going to be how I chose her name. So I pull out the first one, and I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to commit.
You broke your own rule.
Yeah. I'm like, no, let's try it again.
Doesn't sound like the game worked.
So I do it again. Still didn't feel right. Okay. So I'm like, no, one more time.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
And then the third one I pull out, it was Ayla. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe. And he's like, no, that's the name. We're not doing it again. I'm like, okay, all right. I needed somebody to tell me that. But
So like he unknowingly agreed to the name that was pretty much in your heart.
Yeah. Yeah, he had a part in it as well. I loved the name Ayla. There's different versions in different languages, but in Turkish, it means halo around the moon. So like the
glow. Mm-hmm. That's really cool.
Yeah, and so I love it. And then also I didn't realize until a day that I took her to an urgent care for something. The nurse saw that was her name, and she was like, oh, Ayla, oh, that's so pretty. That makes me think of a book I read a long time ago, The Clan of the Cave Bear. And I was like, oh, wait, I read that book. Yeah.
What? I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's really good. So yeah, then that was another attachment.
So there was a character in the book named Ayla?
The main character.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you know that when you named her? Like you already...
No, I didn't remember. I mean, I read it like a long time ago.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, yeah, that is nice. That's cool. But, and then I also, for her middle name, gave her my middle name, which is May. It's like a passed down family name. My great-grandma had the middle name May, and I'm pretty sure her mom had the middle name May. So I just felt, I don't know, I wanted to give her that connection to my great-grandma as well, because she was a really important person in my life. I felt really close to her, so it felt right to give,
Like it wasn't your name you were giving her. It was your
Yeah, it wasn't
your
because of me,
grandma's.
but it was like, well, it's a nice tradition to like pass it down.
Yeah. I've seen that a lot with families. That's really cool. And it's a cute name, so it works.
What about for Ocean?
So Ocean's name, well, I think I always knew that I wanted like some earthy hippie name for my kids. Whether it was going to be a boy or a girl, like I just knew that I wanted something that resonated with how I feel inside myself. And so I actually was looking, I think I was only like 4 months pregnant actually. And I was looking on like a ton of different websites for like baby names. And there was one I came across that was like just like Earth baby names or something. And I was actually going through and reading them. I said Ocean, and we both were like, yeah, I like that. And we were kind of like, we'll come back to that one. And so then I went through the rest of the list, and I just feel like automatically we just decided like Ocean, because he liked it and I liked it. And I was actually very surprised that he agreed to it. And he likes to say it's from Ocean's 11. And I'm like, okay, that's really not though. But like for me, when I was like, you know, like after we had agreed on that name and like researching more like what ocean means, I mean, when you think of the ocean, like I already love the ocean, and I feel like every time I visit the ocean, I just feel so refreshed and renewed, and it's just something like so peaceful and like magical that like the energy of the water is just like healing and just something that staring at it makes you feel like
I feel
some
like
way.
As humans, I would hope that most people do feel that type of connection to it, because like, you know, we kind of come from it.
Right.
Kind of, you know.
Yeah. And so also when you like look up ocean, and it means those things like life, like water is life. Life comes from water. And so I like that meaning. It's also strong, deep. It represents like knowledge because of the depth of it, because of just how it's used for imagery and things like that. It stirs up like emotions inside of you, so it can be emotional. And also I think too like mysterious, because there's so much of the ocean that we don't know, you know, like that we haven't even discovered or explored. And then there's also so many like stories and like mythology, but also like real life events of like tragedies and all of these things, which can seem like dark, but I just find it like coming back to that word, like powerful. Like there's just something about it that is
There's
so,
a depth to
yeah,
it.
yeah. And so I really liked that. And I wanted my child to have like some kind of name that represented something just strong and meaningful. And then his middle name is Peace, one of the most like hippie names, like straight up, that you could possibly pick. And I think too, where I was at in my life, I wanted my child to have a name that was a representation of something that I wanted him to have in his life. And so Peace to me was like, I hope that in your life you have peace, you find peace, you discover it, whatever that may be. And yeah, so that's
it kind of feels like there's a power in naming your child, like you're bestowing this aura about them.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Like you're gifting him peace.
Yeah. And actually it's funny though, because I was thinking even to like my current life right now, and I feel like we are lacking quite a bit of peace. But like I also was thinking, because I remember this girl that I know whose sisters' names are Hope and Faith, and just some stories that she shared with me about them. And I felt like they were named such a name that was like, you'd think that one would be hopeful, one would be faithful. And like, it didn't seem that it was that way. But I almost found like their journey in life to be like, they were on their way to those things, if that makes sense.
That's interesting.
And so to me, it was like maybe not a guarantee, but just like in having that he would
it's a part
pursue
of his
that
story.
Yeah.
Well, on the, I guess on our second-borns then, my second-born, also a girl, after deciding on, well, I don't know if you would call it deciding on Ayla, it kind of just, however you want to put it, I feel like it was supposed to happen that way. Her name in the meaning halo around the moon, I thought, if I'm having another girl, it would be cute to have something to represent like the sun, because now I'd have a moon and a sun meaning.
And you're also really into astrology.
Yes.
So that is very fitting.
In a different podcast. We'll get there. But yeah, so I was looking for names that I didn't want something just like, oh, it means the sun, or like the sun, but in a different language.
Yeah.
But I saw the name Lucia, and it's really pretty, like, written out. Plus, when you say it, it's pretty. Yeah. And that's in Italian, and it means light. So both of them mean light.
Just a different kind of light.
Yeah. It got me thinking about what middle name would go well with Lucia, or how would I want to combine those to mean something. And I chose the middle name Nirvana, which means enlightenment, and it's kind of an ode to a period in my life. I mean, it was a special period in my life that taught me a lot of things and reassured me about a lot of beliefs that I had about the universe. So the name Lucia, you can have the nickname Lucy, and Nirvana means enlightenment, so I'll just let you take a wild guess.
And I thought I was the hippie.
Nirvana's also one of my favorite bands, so we can go that way. But I thought that was pretty, I don't know if it's like typical of people when they choose names, but like I really like to see like how it's written out, if I like it that way, not just how it's said.
No, I totally agree. Yeah.
So yeah, I liked that.
Yeah, and that's really pretty. Yeah, I like both of those. And of course, anything with like meaning, is just like special, especially when it's like personal to you. And both of those things are. And I feel like even for me, like thinking back, like I can see how like I can relate to their names, because like you mentioned, a time in our life. And then I think of like the night walks that we used to go on, and we'd always look up at the moon too. And
it's interesting, like I can see, kind of how I said, like, it feels like we have this power, like we're bestowing these traits or whatever onto them.
Yeah.
I can see it through their personalities, like how different they are, like sun and moon different.
Yeah. Like opposites, sort of. Yeah.
Yeah. Even their looks, which is interesting too. But yeah, with Ayla, she's more like reserved, but like more like under the surface. There's a lot going on, and
she's a deep thinker.
Yeah. And then Lucia is kind of like my wild card and like up for anything, and yeah, it's just really interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. And that brings me to talking about Kai, because I kind of feel like their names play a little bit into that as well. So with Kai, I actually didn't have his name picked out fully until after he was born. There's a name that I really have wanted to use for both of them, but for some reason it just didn't feel right.
You like until you had the like sign the birth certificate?
Yeah, okay. I was like needed to pick a name, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll go with this one.
Too stressful. I can't do that.
Yeah, I've always thought like with a home birth, you can kind of take however long you want, but in the hospital they're like, okay, now. And so anyways, with Kai, we had kind of talked about like a couple different names that were kind of also close to Kai, and I just was like not feeling them. And then I couldn't get over the fact that I just loved Ocean's name. And I was like, how am I going to name any other kid? Like, his name is my favorite name. And so I was like, oh, I feel so bad. Like, am I going to like have to name my kid something that I don't really like? And there was actually a short period of time after Kai was born where I was like, did I like pick the wrong name? Like, I don't know. Anyways, so Kai in it's a Hawaiian name, and it means the sea. And so I was like, okay, well, that's obviously perfect because I named both of my kids after the ocean. So we have ocean, and then we have Kai, which means the sea. And then also the sea is, it's part of the ocean. It says it's the where the ocean meets the land. That portion is the sea. So it's smaller than the ocean, and he's the little brother.
Oh, yeah.
And then McCrae's family is very Scottish, and in Scottish it means fire. And his grandma really loved that. And I thought, oh, well, that's kind of interesting because like that's totally opposite than water, like a fire, like blazing and hot, and you have like water that's calming and cool. And anyway, so I really liked that. And then also there was a Gaelic meaning keeper of the keys or earth. And I thought, that just sounds really powerful. Like, whatever that means, I don't know, but I thought that was really interesting. And so
the keys to where?
I don't know. It's a mystery, but I really liked, obviously, that I was naming both of my kids after the ocean, which I feel a huge connection to. And so then when it came to his middle name, I again wanted something that had meaning. And when I first became pregnant with Kai, I was very sad and upset because I wasn't ready for another baby. And it was just shocking. And then as time went on, as you do usually in your pregnancy, you get more excited and you feel more connected to them. And I just remember thinking like I want it to be like something happy, because for the most part, like we weren't happy, but I knew that things were not going to like stay feeling that way. And as we started to get more excited for him and stuff, I came across this name Gilly, and it said it's a Hebrew name or of Hebrew origins. And then in that sense, I just felt like my history with like being a Christian kind of was like, I don't know, I just liked it. And so it said that it meant like little joy. And then I actually remember I asked your grandma after we named him because she had mentioned Gil, and Gil means joy. And then she said Gilly kind of means like little Gil, so like little joy, which was essentially what it said online. And so I was like, oh, okay, so it's okay, like we didn't misname him. And so I just loved that name because I felt like that's what he was going to be. Like he was going to be our little joy, like this little surprise baby that we weren't expecting coming into the world and like making life a little more joyful. And so, so Kai Gilly, it's very, I'd never heard of that name before, and I don't think anybody else has. Just the meaning of it is really what I like. And Gilly is just very cute.
I think it fits him and his personality.
Yeah,
too.
he's very wild, very
maybe he takes after the fire.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. And then also he just adds like so much more energy to our lives. He's definitely all over the place. And but he's just the cutest. So, yeah.
He is so cute. So should we talk about our own names?
Yeah, sure. I would be interested to know, like, have you ever asked your mom like why she chose your name or like what she liked about it?
I don't think she told me like what she liked about it. The story is that she was set on the name Mary Rose.
What?
Yes.
Okay, I'm interested. Tell me more.
That was going to be my name.
Mary Rose? Okay, yeah. In some weird way, I feel like I could kind of see that.
What? I don't feel like I look like a Mary.
No, you don't look like a Mary, but I could see Mary Rose.
Oh my gosh, don't say that. But so that's the name that she had chosen, and she said...
She had decided on it?
Yeah.
Oh my God, okay.
But when I was born, I did not look like a Mary Rose.
What?
So
that's crazy.
Yeah, she said I looked like a Natasha. That's what came to her.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. How weird is that?
Yeah.
And then especially going back to the fact that like your Natalie is Natasha too. Like, that's just so funny that
Yeah,
that would
she
be
was
the name
named-
that she thinks that you fit.
Right. She was named that 9 months before me, but she didn't.
Know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She didn't know that it's the same name.
Yeah.
As I said, I had the middle name May, which was given to me after my great grandma. And it's not spelled like the month, but Mae.
Which is a cuter way of spelling it.
Yeah. And I'm born in May. So.
Oh, yeah. That's so funny. I don't think I've ever really thought about that.
I mean, I feel like for the longest time, that's what I thought. That's why I had the middle name May.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
But now, from Ethel May, so...
Did she ever let you know what your name would have been if you were a boy? Did she ever have one in mind, or do you know?
I actually don't know. I should probably ask her.
Yeah, you should. I feel like everybody needs to know that.
Yeah. What about for you?
Well, so for me, my name, if it wasn't Novia, was either going to be Luna or Kiana.
Really?
Yeah. Or Kiona. Sorry, Kiona is what it was going to be. I think it's Hawaiian or something. And
I can't imagine either of those.
really?
Yeah.
So anyways, my mom chose Novia out of a baby book, and it said that it meant sweetheart in Spanish. And so actually my dad told me that they had a conversation about this, and he was like, no, it means girlfriend. Like, don't name her girlfriend. But my mom loved it, so she chose that name, which again means girlfriend in Spanish. And so yeah, I guess she just thought it was like cute and sweet because she thought it meant sweetheart. And then Grace, I believe, comes from, so my nanny, her stepdad, but he had been in her life from like the time she was a child. His family is Greek, I think. I think she said that it comes from his side of the family. I could be totally wrong. It could be like ours somewhere. But again, like a passed down name, Grace. But it's also like so common. Everybody and their mom and daughter has the middle name Grace. But it's cute. So Novia Grace. That's what I got.
It goes well together.
Yeah. I can't imagine what else would go with that.
I mean, mine's
I've never
kind
really
of
thought of it. But
common too, May.
yeah. I feel like that's just how middle names are. They're just like, you pick your favorite and then you kind of just go, what sounds good?
That's what I tried
this?
to do differently with Lucia, like not have a common one.
Yeah. And it's hard because like a middle name really can make the first name sound bad if it doesn't like flow together, you know? So yeah. Oh, and then if I was a boy, it was going to be Kato.
Really?
Yeah. And so for those of you that don't know, I have a 2-year-old little brother named Kato now. So she got to use it.
Oh, but let's also talk about like people using our name, like baby names.
Oh, okay.
Just touch on it.
So I generally try not to be like somebody that is like mad about things like that. I feel like, because my family okay, one thing to know about my family is we all purposely try to have like unique names. Like my whole family is filled with kind of like not normal names. And there was an instance where this one lady who was friends with my mom named her son the same name as my aunt had chosen for Titan. And she was so pissed, like so pissed. And it became like this huge thing where it was like, you can't be friends with her because she did that. And it was like so dramatic. And, you know, like my mom and I have since talked about that, and we're like, do we really want to be like that? Like, people can name their kids whatever they want, right? Like, and I mean, what if they like that name? Like, just like you liked that name, you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
but
I didn't think that I would be somebody that would get upset about it until it happened. And then
yeah.
I'm like, do you think you have a better version than I do? No.
That's so funny. Yeah. And I feel like I didn't really get upset when this girl named her kid Ocean. I was just like shocked because, first of all, this girl that just recently named her baby Ocean, we've been Facebook friends for probably at least like a couple of years now, I would think. We've never met in person, so like it's not personal in that way, but just out of nowhere she had her baby and named it Ocean. And I'm like, I know you see my stuff on Facebook. Like, I feel like it would just be weird not to like say something, you know? I don't know. And so, and then on top of that, she never actually likes things of mine, especially like definitely doesn't like anything about my kids, which I also find weird, but like I know you didn't just get that name out of nowhere, you know what I mean? And so anyways, I commented on her stuff after she had him, and I was like, oh, we have such good taste in names or something like that. And it was just like, but she still never said anything. And I'm like,
to acknowledge it.
Yeah, like, come on. I know you don't know anybody else with the baby named Ocean.
Yeah. I mean, like, in one sense, it's like, yeah, it's like a, you know, like earthy modern names like can start to be more popular.
Yeah.
But it's like,
and I have seen stuff on Instagram, and I remembered actually that Alexa Vega, the girl from Spy Kids, she named her son Ocean. And obviously that was before my Ocean. And so and I know that it's like becoming a popular name, especially like even with girls, but still to like know somebody on social media that is like friends with me.
Yeah, you weren't just like a complete stranger. Yeah. She knew who you were because you were Facebook friends.
Right, exactly.
So, yeah, that's frustrating. I've had an instance where somebody tried to insult my daughter's name, Ayla, by saying like it's not a real name when it is. You can look it up. And then proceeded to name her baby something very, very similar. So that was pretty frustrating. And then it was funny that somebody in our family also named their daughter Ayla. So she's related to two Aylas after saying that it's not a real name.
That's funny.
So, but it's, yeah, I know two people that named their daughter Ayla after Ayla was born. And like I did the whole like announcement, this is her name. It's frustrating when it's like not acknowledged, like you chose it first.
Yeah. Or be like, oh, I love that name. Right. I'm naming my baby that or something, you know, like just weird.
Like my Ayla doesn't exist.
Yeah.
She does.
Yeah. Yeah. That is weird. People are weird. I don't know. I just feel like if I was going to name first of all, I don't think I could. I don't think I could name my kid the name somebody I know has. Like, I couldn't do that.
No, I'm not like that either.
Like, there's plenty of normal baby names like Chloe, Olivia, Emma, all these names that are like, yeah, they're cute, but I know like 50,000 of them. Like, I just couldn't name my kid that. I don't know. To me, that's...
Yeah.
That could obviously it's how I was raised too, but like it's just too weird.
Name a lot. If I knew somebody with that name, I'm like, that was off limits. I can't.
Exactly. I'm like, no. Move on? Yeah. Like, it's like, oh, this name is taken. That's how I feel. I'm like, oh, it's been used. I can't use it now. Going back, do you have any names that you still like that you didn't get to use or that you would use?
I have like a couple from that night. Edren, I think it was.
Oh, yeah.
Edren.
Yeah.
Or Severin. I'm not sure.
There were a couple.
We're using my phone to record, so I can't look at it.
There were a couple that sounded like very similar, and they had like that harshness to them.
They were like Celtic or Gaelic or something like that.
Yeah. Definitely ones I haven't heard of.
But I know if I were to have another girl, I wouldn't want another name that ends with an A. Like,
really?
Yeah.
Like you feel like it would be too following a trend?
Yeah. I know most names are because that's just how languages have worked for a long time. But yeah, it would just be like if I have to say all of their names in a row, it would just be annoying.
Or it would probably be more likely that you would like mess them up, right? Because of that.
That happens a lot in our family because I have my girls have cousins the same age and their names end with A too. So
really?
It'll be going down a list and the older generation will be messing it up. Oh, I like the name Hazel.
Oh, I've always liked that name. Yeah. It's just so cute and like old lady kind of.
Yeah, it is a family name. I think it was like a great aunt. And then I have a whole list of boy names. I think it'd be so fun to name a boy. I can't wait.
It's so much harder, I feel like. I don't know.
I don't feel like it's harder.
I think it is. There's my boy name list is like less than half of my girl name list. It's
a lot of Jewish names. I love and I love short names.
Is there any that you wouldn't use? Or that you like but no, you're not like in love with?
Zeke.
Zeke? Okay.
I wouldn't use Ezekiel. That's like too long and I don't like it. But
Okay.
Zeke by itself is cute.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll ever use that.
That's like the shortened version for you? Okay.
Theo. Oh, it's
Theo.
so cute. Yeah.
A little Theo?
Yeah.
I actually knew a little kid named Theo, actually, now that you say that.
For some reason, it reminds me of a teddy bear. I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, Theodore. And the nickname for Theodore is Teddy.
Oh, what the heck?
Yeah.
How did my brain do that?
Subconscious. So that is cute. Theodore. Mm-hmm. Like Theodore Roosevelt. Didn't they call him Teddy Roosevelt? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And I love the nickname Teddy. Like, I would name a kid Teddy, I think, just for that.
It's like a romantic, like, high school boyfriend name. Yeah, I won't be using Theo because my boyfriend, who presumably I'll be having a child with, he doesn't like using names that he, like, knows even of people with that name. So, like...
Okay. I don't know any Theodores,
Theo
I don't
Von.
think. Oh, like even
on.
famous people?
Yeah.
Oh my God, shut up. Everybody loves him though.
I know, but like he knows somebody with that name.
Oh my God, that's silly. On mine, I don't think I would ever use this name, but I do like it. Porter.
That's cute.
It kind of just sounds like old. I'm pretty sure that was one of the names in Sandlot. Actually, a name that McCrae really liked, but I was like, I just can't do it, is the name Ace.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I just couldn't.
I remember
It just,
a boy
it sounds like
first...
he's gonna be mean.
Oh no, it was Asa.
Asa?
Yeah.
Okay.
There was like a boy in like first grade that I just did not like.
See, it just sounds like it's not gonna be a good person. I don't know how to explain it. That's just, I know. Another one, we almost named Ocean in the very beginning. When I thought I had his name picked out, we almost named him Joa. Like not Noah, but Joa.
I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Yeah.
I like Jonah, but...
Right. And I like Jonah too, but I was like, it's a little like,
It's
I know
too
people with that name.
familiarized now.
Exactly. So I was like, Joa is cute. I don't know. Obviously didn't pick that.
Oh, I really like Noah for a girl.
Yeah, I agree. Boy names for girls, top tier right there. If you can find a good one.
I like Sawyer for a girl.
Yeah, that's cute. Very popular right now, but it's cute.
I don't know anybody with that.
I just see it on social media.
Oh.
Yeah. So girl names though that I really like. I would probably use this one more as like a middle name, but I really like the name Honor. Like honor, like the word. Mm-hmm. I also liked Bay. I don't think I'd do that, but it sounds like a cute nickname. Bay. But like the bay, like, another kind of like water related name.
Some people do say like Bay.
Yeah, short for Bailey. Oh, well, I was thinking like that's a nickname for people with the name Bailey.
Oh, I'm thinking like...
But I'm thinking the meaning of the bay is like out on the bay,
Where the watermelon grows.
Down by the bay.
I was just thinking about that. Okay, off topic, but like, what the heck? I was thinking about that song like a few days ago. Like,
why?
Why do we all know the song? Where did we learn it?
In elementary school.
Why?
Or like, I remember watching videos of it on TV, and then also I remember singing it at school, in like maybe
So
kindergarten.
Weird. It sounds very like it's haunted. It's cursed.
It was fun to sing though when we were kids.
Yeah. We could talk about what we don't like, but I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. There's a lot of names I don't like.
Okay, like there's probably weird names that I don't like, but like honestly, just for the sake of like commonality, I just don't like common girl names.
I don't like common boy names.
I just think that like a name, you have to carry it for like the rest of your life.
See, in those common names, I understand if it's like, that's a family name that you keep passing down. But otherwise it's like there's so many other ways to, you know, be a little more original.
Yeah. And like it's not like that there's something wrong with giving your kid like the name Kate or Katie or, you know, Sarah, right? Like those are very highly used. Like they're not ugly names when you say them. Like it's not about that. It's just like there's so many of them.
Yeah.
Like why would you want your kid to have a name with that 10 other people in their class have, you know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what it comes down to. Like, if you care about that or not.
Yeah.
I just don't want my children to, like, I don't know. I want them to be differentiated from other people.
Yeah, same. Yeah. I think, and two, it's just like, I have to pick a name that has like meaning to me.
Maybe that comes from
and like none of those have meaning to me.
Right. Maybe that comes from being people that have like less common names.
Maybe, yeah.
So we know what that's like and prefer it. And
I've always been like the only Novia that I've known.
I've only known one other Natasha, and she replaced me in 3rd grade when I left.
Shut up. That is weird.
The day that I was leaving that school in 3rd grade, she came.
That is so weird.
I know, isn't it?
Yeah, that is really weird.
It definitely, like, I felt some type of way at the time.
Sometimes I feel like the Novias that I've heard about, like, do they really exist? Like, I've heard people, so like my stepmom's mom says that she knows another Novia that was like older or something, I think. And then I was actually driving through one of the Carolinas on our way to Georgia in 2016 or 17, and this girl at Chick-fil-A saw the name on my card and she goes, "No way!" She's like, "My best friend's name is Novia." And I was like, "What?" Like, that is so weird, but like I've still never met one. And I remember for a little while, I followed this girl named Novia on Instagram, and she was from California, and she was pretty cool. But that was like that's it. It's my experience.
Yeah, I think we did a good job covering names and why we like them, what we chose for our children.
Yeah. Yep. So how about you guys share with us names that you do like? Because I'm always interested to hear like what other people like have in their minds, and tell us why. Like, I think that's the biggest reason. Like, even if you pick a name that like we are not like in favor of, like if it has meaning for you, I think that's what makes it important. So
yeah,
tell us.
I love learning about like the, you know, definition or the meaning.
Yeah, because like there's a lot of common names that like I'll hear online, people say them and they'll be like, "Oh, it means this in this culture or language," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, so like maybe that's why people pick that name, you know, like from their background or their ethnicity, whatever it is." So yeah, anyways, thanks for listening, guys. We hope you watch this. If you watch this, please give it a thumbs up below. Hit the subscribe button. Leave some comments. Interact with us. Remember, we have our Spotify playlist too, that Natasha has on her Spotify. We have one for each of us. And yeah, any final words that you would like to share, Natasha?
So I would like to share that, wait, what's today's date?
October 8th.
Okay.
So we're recording this on Sunday.
So I would like to share that yesterday, which was October 7th, there was a terrorist attack in Israel by Hamas, which controls the Palestinian government, basically. And over 600 people lost their lives. There were at least 100 that have been kidnapped, women, children, and elderly that have been taken into Gaza. And I just hope that you keep any Jewish people in your lives, in your thoughts and prayers, and reach out to them to see if they're doing okay, because most likely they know somebody, they have loved ones that live in Israel, and it's a hard time for all of us.
And I just want to thank you, Natasha, for sharing that, because I know that it can be difficult with how close this is to you. Just a reminder to everybody, Natasha is Jewish and her father lives in Israel. So this is something that is very important to her. I know that I still am very uneducated in a lot of the details, but it is our responsibility to be the voice of the voiceless and stick up for people who can't speak up for themselves. And so if you guys would just do your part in sharing the truth and sticking up for the truth and what's right, which is, saving people and protecting people and not allowing people to be, grossly murdered for selfish reasons and for race. Because especially in a country that cares so much about race and saying what's right and what's wrong, like this is definitely something that we as Americans should care about. All right. So have a good night, guys, and we'll see you back next week for episode 8. Bye.
Bye.